everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if you are new. And today we are going over all the books that I read in February. February honestly flew by for me. I don't even know where the time went, but I did read some really good books in February, and some books that I feel like my ratings will shock you guys because they shocked me. I'm very excited to get into it all today. The end of February, it kind of fell off for me because I started to develop a little bit of a reading slump, so we shall see how that carries into March. But for now, we're going over every book that I read in February 2023. So excited for this video, and stay tuned. Okay, so the first book that I read ended up being a DNF. And this was not on my 2023 bingo card. I even talked about how I thought that this would be a 5-star read for me. It was on my 5-star predictions list, but I ended up DNFing it. I hate to say it, but it is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I feel like I'm definitely in the minority with this one because so many people are saying it's their favorite in the series. Can't relate. Terms and conditions all the way over here. I don't know what it was. I just ended up DNFing this one. This one follows the last Kane brother, Callahan. The grandfather leaves a task for each of these brothers to do in his will, basically for them to get their shares of the company and get more money. So in the other two books we saw them completing their task, and in this one it's the last brother and he is struggling a lot. Addiction, drugs, alcohol, he just struggles a lot. See him like self-destructing. His task is to basically go back to his summer vacation home and sell it, but when he goes, he does not expect to see his ex-fling, his ex-love living in the house, and his grandfather actually gave the house to her, or half of it. So now he wants to sell the house to get his shares and get the hell out of Dodge, and she's like, no, you're not selling this house, I live here. And there's like that dynamic, and they both have to work together. Maybe she's deceiving him. I was just not into this book at all. I could not get into it. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood to read about somebody who was just so badly self-destructing. Sometimes I can get into that, but this time I was like, this is depressing. Like, I'm not enjoying this at all. Maybe I'll try it again because I did DNF it pretty early on, but I just wasn't really liking the heroine. I wasn't liking Callahan because it was such a different vibe from the Callahan we knew from the other books. I was expecting to go in and have like a happy-go-lucky hero. No, he struggles a lot, and I just wasn't really in the mood to read it, so I DNF'd it. And then the next book I read, I also DNF'd, and that was Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. I've seen this book a lot. I recently followed the author because she is good friends with Trelina Pucci. I love like author-friend duos. They go live together all the time. I thought it was cute, so I went and followed her. Later on, this book came out. I saw that she was sending it to a bunch of like TikTokers, and I was intrigued right away. I was like, no. This book was missing one big thing, and that was context. There was no context. We just jump right in, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? Did not understand, and I could already tell by the writing that it would just be something that I am just not into. It felt very catered to TikTok. Every trope that TikTok loves is in here. It didn't flow at all. It was just like, oh, they love Praise King. Here's Praise King. Oh, they love this, here's that. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't really feel like there was any thought or care to the book. It just was like kind of spitballing tropes and words and things that people like, which is sometimes really nice. It's like, oh, my audience really loves when I say this, or my audience really loves this trope, so I'm gonna try that. But it's felt very like kind of manipulative. Oh, TikTok loves this, I'm gonna give them everything that TikTok loves. I don't know, I just wasn't into it, and right away I was like, I am missing like some key factors here. And this is the first book to a series or a standalone. There was no like precursor beforehand. I was like, where's the context, babes? Where is it? So I ended up DNFing it. The next book that I read was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I actually do have a reading vlog up for this book. I ended up really enjoying it, but that's all I'm gonna say. You guys can go check out my reading vlog for this. It was in my Reading a Random Book Off My Bookshelf reading vlog. This was a lot of fun. I have many annotations in here that I cannot wait to go back and cried to. It was very sad, but I enjoyed it a lot, so I will have that vlog linked down below. And then I read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. HarperCollins actually sent this to me, so thank you so much. I really enjoyed this book. I also listened to it on audio from script, so that was great. I loved Tessa Bailey's audiobook, and I rated this book 4 stars. This book follows Hallie, and she is a gardener or a landscaper. She goes and does people's like flowers and gardens in her small town in Napa. She has a big crush. She is a little bit obsessed with our hero. In high school, they met at a party and they almost kissed before he shut it down. Ever since that almost kiss, Hallie has been harping on him and everything that he does, and she's just super obsessed with him and is always wondering like what could have been. When he moves away for college and then goes on to be a professor and she's still in the small town, she's like living life, kind of living in the past, but then he moves back to take a break from teaching and working on writing his first novel. Hallie gets hired by his mother to do their family's landscape. Because of this, they are back into each other's life. He does not remember Hallie at all. I really enjoyed this book. I loved the atmosphere. You guys know I'm a sucker for a small town, but the fact that this takes place in Napa was just so much fun, so cute. I love the neighborhood and the community. I thought everything about it was just adorable. Really loved Hallie as well. Really sunshiny, and he's very grumpy. I loved it. He's a very like buttoned up, he has rules for himself and goals. Hallie is the exact opposite. She's very free-flowing. She loves to go with the flow. She loves to do what she wants to do on her own time. These two could not be more polar opposites. I really related to Hallie with her being delusional. It was so fun to read about. There's also a little bit of like secret admirer letters in here as well. Hallie loosened like Julian up a bit, and he didn't even realize that she was doing it. She didn't realize that he was doing it. His mind would just always like go to Hallie and what Hallie was doing, and that's just not in the norm for him. So that was really fun and interesting to see that all unravel. So I rated this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. The next book that I read was Hawk by Jessie Hall. Rated this book 3.5 stars. I had seen this book floating around on booktube and on Goodreads, and I decided to give it a chance. This book was definitely reminiscent of like early 2010s romance books. Thoughtless by S.E. Stevens. This one really reminded me of that. And like After as well follows our heroine, and she is kind of bored with her life. She has a boyfriend. They live together. They've been dating for a little bit of time, but she is just bored out of her mind. Their sex life isn't that great. He never like takes the time to take care of her. She's just really bored. He's also comes from like a very Catholic family, and that's why he likes her so much, because she's Catholic, but she isn't as extreme in her values as he is. They're living in a house together. He goes away to a grocery store, and when he's gone, she notices that somebody is in her house, and it is Hawk. She has never met Hawk before. She just thinks that somebody random is breaking into her house, and when her boyfriend comes in, he's actually like, nope, we have a new roommate, it's Hawk. We actually ended up buying the house from him, and he just got out of jail and he needs a place to stay, so can he stay with us for a little bit of time? And she's really pissed off. She wished that he consulted her. What can she do? He's here now, and she's just gonna have to make the best out of it. These two do not get off on the right foot, because she called the police on him thinking that somebody was breaking into the house after he just got out of jail. They just kind of like go back and forth a lot while also ignoring each other, and then kind of attraction grows between them. Trigger warnings for usage of drugs, and then also cheating, because she cheats on her boyfriend a lot with Hawk. So that's why it was really reminiscent of like Thoughtless and After. And I don't know, it was 3.5 stars. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a little bit better than fine. I thought that the chapter titles were cute. I thought that the smut was good, and I just really thought it was really angsty, which I enjoyed. But I think I've kind of outgrown the like cheating of it all. I used to think it was so scandalous and so fun to read about, but I don't know, it just kind of got a little bit old for me. I'm like, you don't like him, you may love him, but you don't like him, you're cheating on him. I don't know, I was just kind of bored. I was like, this is kind of played out, so I gave it 3.5 stars, even though the angst was fun. And it was kind of fun seeing her enjoy having good sex. I was like cringing while reading about the sex scenes with her and her actual boyfriend. Yeah, 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it-ish, and I would recommend it to people who still like that mindset of like cheating and angst and sneaking around. The next book that I read was The Boss's Lunch by Kinsey Plate. I saw this book on Goodreads. I rated it 3 stars. Honestly, I was just curious. Like, I don't know. Her boss basically helps her out with her issues when it comes to her boobs, because she just had a child and she breastfeeds. I don't know. It was interesting. Okay, I gave it 3 stars. Yeah. Okay. moving on. The next book that I read was Swan Song by 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓼, and Freya from Freylise, actually, she recommended me this book and told me it was one of her favorites of 2022, and I ended up giving this book 3.5 stars. Again, I really wanted to like stop with the half ratings, but like sometimes it's just I can't, like I have to give a half rating to books. This book really had me hooked in the very beginning. I was worried about this one because I wanted to read a dark romance, but I didn't want to have to like have all these like mind tricks being played on me. Like Amo Jones, for example, her mind tricks and her does, and you don't even understand what's going on, can be really, really annoying. I didn't want this book to be like that, and it wasn't, thank God. So I was hooked in right away. At the beginning of the book, we see that our heroine is rescued from a fire by this guy. She was basically sold, mafia type person. He has a bunch of like ballerinas dancing for him and his clients, and that's how he makes money. And so one day when the fire goes off in the building, she gets saved by this guy, and ever since then she has lived with him. He is basically her like guardian. She works for his ballet company. This book, like I said, was very good and interesting in the beginning, and then it felt a little bit flat for me. I really enjoyed the taboo and the forbiddenness, but everybody kind of believed that was her father and like just her guardian now, but there has been like attraction, sexual attraction there for a while. They kind of explored that. She is very like delusional and very like, I can sense there's something between us and this is gonna happen. And he's like, whoa there, this would be so inappropriate, but he can't deny that there is attraction there. I really liked Ophelia, who is the heroine. She had very like bratty behavior, but then at some point I was like, okay girl, you're annoying me. Please get it together. Have some decorum. You don't have to throw yourself at him at every foot of the way. Play the game. Make him jealous with one of his men. Make him jealous when you like have to mingle with the people who are there for the ballet. Like do something. Stop showing him all of your cards. So that really annoyed me. But overall, I thought it was like a pretty hot time. I thought that the angst and the forbiddenness was fun. It did fall flat for me, and I don't know if I would read more from this author yet. We'll have to see if any of her other books intrigue me, but 3.5 stars, not bad, not bad. And the last book that I read in February is Act Like You Mean It by Shay Sanders. I saw a tweet on Twitter from Syl from the Book Voyagers talking about like when he spoils her, and this book was under that like category, and I was like, oh, I love like a good princess treatment. I will never enter a relationship if I'm not treated like a princess, so I had to read this book. This is a fake dating book. These two people are celebrities. He is a like actor, he's a like a B-list actor, and she is a model. He has been known to only date every other race except for Black women, and his PR team is like, we gotta do something about this because it's not looking good. All of your fans are Black women, and once they catch on that all you date is everybody except Black women, there's going to be an issue. So his PR team is like, how about we get you into like a fake little relationship for PR? So he starts looking at his candidates, and he stumbles across our heroine, who is a model and pretty popular. They decide to try it out and fake date, and I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it was so much fun, a hot time. I've read another Shay Sanders before, and I really enjoyed that one. It was like a Halloween novella. It was great. I really enjoyed it, and he did in fact spoil her, and it was great to read about because his whole thing also was that he just like does not like spoiling women and how this and this. He wasn't my favorite hero to read about, but when he started to fall for a heroine, I was like, okay, you're not bad. And I gave this book 4 stars. So that was the last book that I read in February. Honestly, I might end up finishing Powerless by Elsie Silver before tonight, and that will just be included in my March wrap up, but I am almost done with that one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And if you are still here, leave me a green heart emoji because we are about to enter into March. How exciting is that? I am so ready for the school year to be over and for summer to begin. So yeah, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I will see you very shortly in a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and